Call of Duty 2020 is looking very likely to be a Black Ops reboot. The Game Revolution brought us some new leaks here regarding Call of Duty 2020. Now, we've known about this for a while now. We knew it was going to be a Cold War era Vietnam game. Sledgehammer Games, Raven Software were still making it. Treyarch took over. Treyarch is still making that Cold War Vietnam era game, but now we have some huge information, probably the biggest leak we have seen so far with Call of Duty 2020 regarding multiplayer, campaign, and zombies. A lot of stuff to get through within this video. I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible so I'm not talking for an hour because there's so much stuff we can talk about. There's so many discussion videos, theories we can make, predictions as to what we're going to see based on the information here, and we're getting into the reveal season of Call of Duty 2020. I'm still making Warzone videos. I'm still making Modern Warfare videos. There's still a lot of stuff to talk about with this game right now, but COD 2020, the reveal is going to be coming. We're middle to late March right now. April and May, the next 2 months, are the times in which they reveal the new Call of Duty. So it's definitely good now to at least start thinking about what are the possibilities here with COD 2020, and especially if we have a huge leak to talk about. Most of the stuff we will talk about within this video will be the basis of Call of Duty 2020 and this Black Ops reboot. Now, I want you guys to leave your comments down below. What do you think about a Black Ops reboot? What are some stuff you want within a Black Ops reboot? Are you completely against the idea? Because I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it's got to be either Black Ops or Modern Warfare every year. Or do you guys want a Black Ops reboot? What things do you want them to reboot about the game? Old maps you want to return? Definitely leave those comments below. I'll put those up in a video where I compile a bunch of your comments, throw them up on screen. So if you have some good comments, I'll definitely put them there. I still have to do that with the Warzone video as well. Didn't forget about that, but don't worry, that'll be for the next video. Let's get into these leaks here. Multiplayer, campaign, and zombies for COD 2020. I'll leave a link down below to the Game Revolution. Now, this is what his source is telling him. Development may be impacted by what's going on right now. Obviously, the whole situation, we're all at home. It's just, it's a weird situation here, so maybe that will impact the reveal as well. Who knows? But definitely, we should be patient and ready for anything to happen. Playtesters are enjoying the game right now, so that's definitely a good thing to hear. The situation on the graphics, they're still not completely done. A lot of work still needed to be done. I mean, we're getting to the point where they need to finish that up pretty soon, but obviously we don't exactly know what's going on behind the scenes there, so hopefully they finish all of that up pretty soon. Let's start off with the multiplayer information here for this game. So we have large player count modes like Ground War, obviously Ground War Infected, anything that's large within Modern Warfare. Any new mode that probably gets added into Modern Warfare that has that huge player cap will probably be within the X game as well. 32v32. Ground War maps will have 5 flags. One map that is described in the leak here is a massive ice map, 2 sides, snowmobiles, tanks used as vehicles. Pretty cool there. Some more information about the layout of this map. In the center of the map, there's a huge frozen lake. On one side, there are a bunch of trees, some sort of frozen forest, maybe alluding back to Black Ops 3, we don't know. On the other side, there are a lot of different bunkers, a train runs through there, and a bunch of different stuff. Apparently, the map is set in Vietnam. There's a flamethrower kill streak on this map as well, so a lot of interesting aspects here. That flamethrower kill streak, specific to this map, specific maybe to other maps as well, a general theme within this game. That's a weapon that would obviously be used during this time period, so you're probably going to see a bunch of different, map-specific kill streaks, and kill streaks generally within this game that are alluding back to the Black Ops era, and especially the Cold War and Vietnam era in real life. Most of the multiplayer maps within the game are going back to the Treyarch style. Most maps will be 3 lanes. Most of them will be 6v6, obviously. Probably not going to see any gunfight maps. We'll probably have a couple Ground War maps, but the basis of the game will be 6v6. The maps, obviously, less cluttered, more Treyarch-like, and I don't want every map to be a 3-lane map, but for the most part, we saw with Modern Warfare really has barely any 3-lane maps, and I think a lot of us are missing just a normal, standard multiplayer map design that Treyarch is pretty good at bringing us. Now, apparently, health regen is not automatic, and stim is here just like in Black Ops 4, which I don't think it was that big of a deal within Black Ops 4. Most people did get used to it. I feel like some people do prefer it, but it does suck. I'd rather just be automatic, just like most Call of Duties. This isn't finalized However, this is something the leaker said that is finalized later on in the development of this Call of Duty. Playtesters play different versions of the game, so they're definitely playing a version with stim, without stim, with all these different features. I mean, you remember the leaks back from a long time ago when Black Ops 4 had boost jumping and, playtesters were playing it. They didn't like it. It was too much like Overwatch. They completely scrapped the whole idea. Playtesters really are a huge factor into what the game does and how it develops and how they actually finalize all of their different features within the game. So we'll just have to see what version of the game playtesters do enjoy. And for the most part, if most people enjoy the version with stim, maybe it's better off that stim is added back into Call of Duty. So who knows, but as of now, it is pretty early. So to go through some specific 6v6 maps here, we have a warehouse map in the middle. There's a massive open field. There's a center tower to snipe from. Apparently you go there. It's almost like a no man's land type area. No real area to camp. One side of the map has a river that goes from both ends of the map. Another 6v6 map here set within what seems to be a Russian city. The left side, there's a lot of different cars and streets everywhere. It's very clustered, a lot going on, what you would think a city would be like, especially a city in chaos. Apparently the leaker is saying that it's way too big to be a 6v6 map, so it could just be one of the larger 6v6 maps, but hopefully it's not the Modern Warfare situation where the 6v6 maps are so large that they completely turn them into ground war maps. That hopefully isn't an issue. I want the maps to generally be smaller. With a few exceptions, you could have some larger 6v6 maps, but if you're making a map so large, just keep it as a ground war map. So we'll have to see there. Now some stuff with kill streaks. We have a UAV, counter UAV, bomber plane, which shoots out other bomber planes, kills any kill streak in the sky. We have a dog kill streak, maybe similar to Riley. Operators are returning, so we're not actually seeing the specialist model that we've seen within the past two Black Ops games. Now let's go through a bunch of stuff with campaign. A lot of stuff here with campaign. So campaign's going to be focused around the real life events of the Cold War, Vietnam War, more realistic, more according to history than Black Ops was. Black Ops was in that era, but it was a bit more fictional than what actually happened in real life. Apparently it's going to be more gory than Modern Warfare. The problem with Modern Warfare is that it was originally very gory. There's a lot of shock factor, but then they toned it down a lot once a lot of the people played the game and they had to meet a certain rating. Honestly, if Modern Warfare kept all of the original gore and shock factor it had, it probably would have been rated adult instead of mature. I mean, who knows? They clearly publicly said that they brought back a lot of the different stuff. People call it censoring. It definitely wasn't censoring, but they just decided that their creative decision was to put a lot less of that crazy, just shock factor within Modern Warfare. But they're saying here that the Black Ops reboot is going to have even more shock factor, even more gore than Modern Warfare. So we'll see if they keep their word with that. Again, very early in the development here, but we're getting pretty soon to the reveal. So again, we'll have to see. This campaign is going to have different perspectives in the Vietnam War. We're going to have Alex Mason, Sergeant Frank Woods return, similar to Modern Warfare. The thing is here, this is a reboot, so these characters probably will be casted by different celebrities here. We're going to have a whole new storyline. It's going to be just like Modern Warfare pretty much. You see Price, you see other people, but like it's not the same storyline whatsoever. Modern Warfare is completely different than any of the other Modern Warfares previously. Black Ops, the reboot, is going to be the same thing. So some pretty cool stuff here. The actual name of the game, the code name is Project Zeus. That's just a code name. Who knows if Zeus is relevant to anything else, but the actual name could be Black Ops or Black Operations, which Black Operations could be pretty cool. I think people would get tired of saying that whole title, but at least for a title, it would be sick to see. Black Ops 5, most likely a placeholder right now, just like Modern Warfare 4 was. They did officially use Modern Warfare 4 as a placeholder, so Black Ops 5 might be seen in some leaks, but it's probably not going to be Black Ops 5. Mason apparently is in the first mission of the campaign, and the leaker actually sent the Game Revolution a bunch of different lyrics here. The song Russians by Sting. It's about Cold War, foreign policy. I think that's just relevant to the campaign of the game, talking about Cold War and what's going on with politics, and the campaign will be centered around that sort of era and what's going on there. So that's pretty self-explanatory there. Now, some zombie stuff, very little here. There's a lot of theories we can do about zombies, but let me just go through what the leaker was saying. Perks, Pack-a-Punch, a lot more barriers to actually play zombies, different ways to play the mode, and also the bigger leak here, which is definitely very interesting, which we can talk about separately, transit on disc. This is actually from a different source, the Game Revolution says, so not 100% credible here, but I think it's very possible that we're going to see the rest of the maps for this game. The zombies maps that were not either remade or remastered come to this game finally. Transit would definitely be the first one to see, and then obviously they would do Buried, Die, Rise, and then after that we'll have to see what decisions they decide to make. It was clear that there was going to be a second season pass for Black Ops 4 with the Ether maps, and it did have room for a bunch of new maps, so it's going to be interesting to see if they do Black Ops the reboot. They reboot the whole storyline. Will they reboot the Ether storyline? Will they bring back all these characters, Richtofen, and all the different crews, and all of this different stuff, the Origins crew, the Transit crew, Victus, Primus, all these different people, but allow them to have a whole new storyline, bringing new locations, new maps, and old maps into the mix? How would that work? I'm not so sure yet, but especially with the past game, we do know at least bring back the remasters and the remakes of the maps that we did not see. Within Blackout, we had the transit characters, Buried, the bus depot, all different assets back within Black Ops 4 that were going to be used for DLC 5 for Black Ops 4, but obviously they scrapped that. Black Ops 4 did not sell enough. Activision didn't see it as a priority, so most of that stuff should come over to the next game, the Black Ops reboot. But how does that work now? Because if they're rebooting the storyline, how does a Transit remaster fit into a rebooted storyline? Do they bring back Transit but with a whole new storyline? I think that's very possible, honestly. I think, if anything, they could still bring back Transit, Buried, and Die Rise, but a whole new storyline, a whole new situation, because technically it doesn't matter if Transit is after Moon, or if, Buried is after Die Rise. They could do it in any order they want because it's a whole new storyline. These are just the same assets, the same locations, the same characters, but they can mix everything up and it wouldn't really matter because it's a whole new storyline. So I feel like that'd be pretty sick to see. I don't know. I feel like that's the best possibility of seeing these maps return, along with new Ether maps, new locations, all within this new rebooted storyline. So at least as of now, there's a lot more I want to talk about with zombies, but I'm going to keep it here because anything further I'm going to talk about is going to be a theory or just not like official leaked information from the Game Revolution source or any other source we've seen talking about Call of Duty 2020. So that's pretty much it for now. Definitely leave your comments below if you watched the whole video. Comment below COD 2020 or comment below Black Ops Reboot. I'll favorite those comments. Greatly appreciate it, obviously, as always. And if you guys have all of this information in your head now, what do you think? Are you formulating an idea as to what this game is going to be like? I have a general idea of how it's going to look just with this information. It seems like a pretty good game. I like the whole Vietnam Cold War era, the multiplayer maps. We did get a little information. I do want more. The stim, I don't really like. I would rather just have automatic reload, but within Black Ops 4, like I said, I got used to stim, so maybe it's not that big of a deal. Zombies, I still want more leaks. I want more information on zombies. I was originally a zombies guy. Most of my channel was built off of zombies. I feel like a lot of people don't really know that or remember that, and if you do, definitely let me know. But I don't know, hopefully it's a really good zombies year, especially with Treyarch coming back, taking over Sledgehammer and Raven. But it's a bit too early to tell now, but this is definitely an interesting leak, and it gets us thinking for this next year for Call of Duty. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later.